Now let's turn to the Iran war and all of its many consequences. The UK government has announced contingency plans in case there are jet fuel shortages this summer as a result of this war. The International Energy Agency has warned that unless more fuel can be brought in from elsewhere, Europe as a whole will face shortages by next month. Here's our business correspondent, Mark Ashdown.
Most airports operate at near full capacity, so the smooth running of takeoff and landing slots is crucial. The current squeeze on jet fuel supplies has led to fears of last-minute cancellations this summer. If airlines fail to fly a slot at least 80% of the time, they could lose it to a rival. These new rules mean they can temporarily hand a slot back, saving fuel and ensuring more flights are fully booked. They would have to give 2 weeks' notice to passengers of any flight changes. The government hopes it will reduce the risk of last-minute cancellations.
I am confident that the majority of people that are travelling this summer will have a similar experience to last year. There may be a need for airlines to trim their schedules slightly. The global flow of jet fuel has adapted dramatically in recent weeks.
But the UK does import 65% of its jet fuel, a significant amount from the Middle East, but also from America, and some is refined here. The airlines have been clear there's no current shortage, but these plans are aimed at allowing them to better plan and minimise disruption.
What the government's doing here is basically just saying, yeah, we're trying to avoid the possibility of last-minute trauma to people's holidays. So really, you might find that you're told if you're flying from Gatwick to Nice in the south of France, yeah, we've cancelled your flight, but there's another one an hour earlier, so off you go.
The UK now has just 4 refineries after 2 were recently closed. They're being asked to maximise production, and it's possible airlines will be allowed to use lower grade jet fuel from the US too. Consumer groups say there needs to be more assurances around passenger rights, but it's hoped greater flexibility for airlines can help ensure a smooth summer of travel. Mark Ashdown, BBC News.
Well, let's pick up on some of those points in Mark's report with John Strickland, Director of JLS Consulting, an independent air transport consultancy. John, we heard that airlines are saying there's no current shortage, but how close, give us an estimation how close they are to the wire when it comes to jet fuel and how much they hold?
Well, fuel supplies and deliveries by normal measures are something which is quite short time frame. It's not unusual for airlines not to know 6 to 8 weeks ahead where that fuel is coming from. It's just assumed the supply will come through. There's a big regular dialogue, of course, with the fuel suppliers. As your report there said, up until recently, more than half that fuel has come from the Middle East region. But there's been a lot of adaptation taking place, as we also heard there, to source fuel from elsewhere, including parts of Africa and particularly the USA. But what we've heard today with the plans from the government, with a short consultation due this week, is to allow airlines this flexibility on the use of slots, which means that if we were to get to that situation where there was an actual shortage, there will be flexibility for airlines to be more prudent, more careful about how they plan their capacity, and if they see opportunities to do a bit of pruning and take flights out to conserve fuel, be able to do it in a way that protects the journeys of passengers as planned this summer. And I would think in some ways, more importantly, into the winter, that's where there would be potentially more cancellations than we will see this summer, because airlines I'm speaking to are expressing calm and relative confidence about being able to deliver their planned summer flying programme, certainly the next 2 to 3 months ahead. They're not complacent, but optimistic.
We saw what happened with the US airline Spirit Airlines ceasing operations. It was quite a wake-up call within the industry. I just wonder, when people are thinking about their travel plans, we're coming up to the summer season, is it better to wait before booking flights, or just to go ahead and book as normal, or go with potentially larger airlines?
I think it's better to book as planned. Normally the advice would be, and I say still is, to book early. Don't hold back, because if capacity is tight, and normally summer does get booked up, but if it had to be any trimming, then seats will go rapidly to the highest bidder, basically. I've got some holiday flights booked myself in June and again in September, and I would recommend people, number one, keep abreast of what is happening in the wider context of the war. Obviously, fingers crossed that comes to a sooner than a later end. And make sure that you're also looking at any communication from your airline if there were to be any changes. But stressing again, airlines are calm about being able to deliver what they plan at the moment. They will do all they can to operate a schedule, because not only is some of the time we want to travel, it's the time we actually make money, hopefully, from flying. So they want to fly the full schedule if they possibly can. And they look at ways of also juggling around aircraft in their fleet if they happen to have aircraft of different sizes to make sure that they can get people moved as scheduled.
OK, well, John, as and when we get there, wishing you a good holiday. John Strickland there, Director of JLS Consulting. Thank you.